So I've had a little bit more time to work on this drum sander, and you know, I made a pretty major change from the last video that I released about this. You guys probably thought I was in the direction, you know, to use that parallelogram to raise and lower the table, but you know what, after just laying in bed for near all night and thinking about it, I came up with a much easier way, and I think it's a lot better way too. I've been just playing with this thing, and I'm amazed how, you know, I've been drawing some lines on it and raising and lowering it, and it always comes back to that exact same position. So, you know, and I raise it all up there, it'll raise about 2 inches is what I've got it raising right now, and I raise it, you know, and then I measure it, and it's always consistent. It's always raising 2 inches in each corner. However, I can achieve about 4 inches or better if I want to on this, just depending on where I put the head height on this. So if the head was setting up here, as you can see, so there would be the head. If I wanted to, you know, if I lowered this right down to the lowest stage, all I'd have to do is add, you know, a few sheets. This is why this is in there. This is just an extra piece. If I added 2, it would give me 1.5 inches. If I added 3, it can be 2 1/4, 4, 3 inches. So, and then if I, you know, at 3 inches, I could have that 1 inch or 2 inches of adjustability. Well, then if I had something real thick to sand, all I have to do is just take a few sheets up, just like this. So, so now I know you guys are wondering, how is it I got this so that it'll raise and lower so easy? So there's raising, as you can see, and then lowering. I gotta put a little wee bit of pressure, just my finger on this, just to hold it, to get it to go down even. And you'll see why here in a minute. So once I get it down, then I'm just going to want to raise it just a little bit, and then if you were able to see my lines that I've got drawn on here, you'd be able to see that by raising it up like that, I'm bringing it right true, and it'll follow the lines just exactly. Goes back to that same setting. So, how did I do it? So, I got a bunch of, I just came in just in the afternoon here. It's only been, I think, about 2.5 hours, or, you know, I think I came in a little after 1, and it's a little after 4 now, so, and, you know, this was designing this, cutting it up, building it, so, so I taped a little bit of this, and I'll put some of the footage after this showing this going together, but now what I'll do is just kind of take you through how I built it. So, this piece actually just floats in here. And you can see, so what it is, it's just a 45. All I did was, that you'll see in the video, I took a piece 7 inches, no, 5 5/8 is what my saw would cut off, cut a 45 off, cut a 45, and then put these pieces, I didn't even angle them, I just stuck them in there, and the same thing, I got the same thing on this. So, the way this works is, I'll just take this out for a minute. I've got a piece of threaded rod run through to that tailstock, and all this does is it just pulls that tailstock in, and because this is flat, it just wants to sit in there. It doesn't want to, you know, as long as you get it sitting straight, it wants to stay sitting straight. So the only issue I'm finding with this is that when I lower it, I'll just get it stuck back in there now, is when I lower it, if I don't hold a little bit of pressure to it, then it will, it'll have a tendency to go cockeyed. But as long as even if it does, I just push it down tight, just make sure it's sitting flat, and then 1 or 2 turns will bring the thing, it'll just come up level automatically. So, so very happy with the way this is working. And I was sitting up on it, cranking this thing, and it'll still lift me. I'm 225 pounds, and I was sitting on this thing, and it'll lift me. So, so no issues about it not having enough power to hold up on this. It's got tons of power. And I just got this stuck together, believe it or not, with just a few air nails, and there's only 6 screws holding this together. So you guys sit back, enjoy the rest of the video showing how I made this, and you guys keep tuning in. You'll see now that I've got the up and down mechanism together. Now it's time to get the feed, or the drum in place, and then get the feed rollers in place, and there's lots more to come too. So hopefully you guys are having fun, and we'll see you next time. Okay, so I've got a little bit more time to work on the drum sander, and what I'm working on is, if you've seen the video where I was using the tilting table to be able to raise and lower the feed deck. I'm starting to think that maybe that isn't such a good idea, and that, you know, I've been kind of playing around with a different idea. So what I've got mocked up here is, you can see, is I'm just playing around with some 45-degree angles. And, you know, so just think about this. This side would be fixed. Plus I would have this side, you know, on the side pieces continue on. There'd be a track that this could run in. So then if I was to, you know, this is going to be my flat part here that the material would run on. If I was to have an adjustment that could pull this tight or pull it towards, you can see that my feed deck would raise. And if this was all, you know, built out and nice and flat, then this should have no reason why this shouldn't go flat every time. So, you know, the closer I pull together, you can see that, you know, by just moving it that little bit of distance, I'd raise that feed deck by, or this plane here, by about 4 inches or so. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually turn this into a 3D kind of thing here, and then see if I can't get it to work. If I could make this work, this would be a much simpler way than having all them levers and doing it that way. This would make a lot easier way for you folks at home to build one of these as well. As anybody can cut a 45 and then, you know, just kind of build off of it. Should be pretty easy. The only thing is it's going to have to be made of melamine, because melamine is really slippery on itself. You know, this will slide really easy on itself. So if I was to have this made into 3-dimensional, as you can imagine, that's just going to slide up and down like that, and that'll give us our height adjustment. So now what I'm going to do is, I got my pieces cut here. Now I'm not going to get fancy about putting this together. I'm just going to air nail it together. And the way I'm doing this, I'm just letting this bottom piece run down flush with the table. That'll keep it, when I put my top piece on, it'll keep it nice and flush. And then I'm just air nailing everything nice and even here. So there, we'll try that. See what that feels like. There, looks good. This side, I'll flip this around. Now just keeping everything nice and flush. I've got another one for this side. So there's my kind of going to be my cradle, as you can see. Really hope this works. This will be a lot simpler way to make this, other than having to do all the levers and bolt holes and all that crazy stuff. This will be super easy. And you know, I've literally only worked on this, you know, just a few minutes. As you can tell, it doesn't take much to cut a few angles on the end of these. Just all I didn't even measure them. I just marked them off each other and there. And now I've got one more to go in the center. It's kind of a little bit of a support. I want to have, this has got to be strong enough. Something, I guess the melamine must be a little wee bit warped. So it's good that I am putting this in the center. So now I'm just going to get the center one nailed. Then I'll flip it over and we'll get a top on this thing, and then it'll be ready to make the two ends. Here, now I'm just nailing the last few pieces in, and I'll tell you, I really think this is going to work, folks. And this thing has literally taken me, I know I haven't worked on it a half an hour yet. I'm not angling the ends. I'm just letting everything run by just square. But you know what? Till I find out whether this is going to work or not, I'm not going to bother. But the initial results here, I'm just kind of trying things here, and I'll tell you, like, I am just amazed how good this. I think this is going to work. We're going to have to wait and see. So now I'll just nail this in. Get this out of the way. Just nail this last piece in, and all I'm doing is just letting everything run flush to the bottom here, and flush to the ends. This works. It's going to make such a simple way to get our height difference for the drum sander, or anything else really like this kind of, with this kind of nature. I guess that's really the only thing I'll probably use. This method. if you've seen my other video showing the table that dropped like that, then I do got a plan for that too. You just have to wait and see. So now, must have had a nail, yeah, nail come up through. So now you can see when I put this together, I'm going to have to put a base on it, obviously, so that everything's hooked in. Now, when, you know, this one will be stationary, when I push this, you'll see that everything...